Welcome to this session provided by UPS. Mihir Das. I was long with shipping and ports, maybe more than 37 years. I will be guiding you through the maritime profession as in India and also during the coming few years. Ways of relocation abroad exists, and what I have not written here is that he has global in any of his steps from abroad 700 million tons through its only one port. Now let's see what it means for India. Maritime transport is a critical contributor to the country's competitive position in global trade. As I mentioned just before, the competitive position means I might be able to sell cargo or sell goods at a price which is available there or at a better price. So that's the competitive advantage. Merchandise trade contributes more than 50% in the real GDP. 95% of this merchandise trade is transported through maritime transport. Maritime sector in India is crucial for economic growth and trade expansion. We have got two types of ports, major ports and private ports, or you can call them non-major ports. Major ports are governed by a Port Act of 1963, which is under central government control, and non-major ports or private ports are under the jurisdiction of the state government or various other authorities controlled basically by the state government. India has a coastline of about 7,515 kilometers with 12 major ports and 186 non-major ones, 141 of which are operational. And there is a beautiful division that 6 are on the east coast and 6 are on the west coast. Indian ports were growing at a compounded annual growth rate of about 8%, which is quite fair. Indian ports is expected to handle about 1,200 million tons of cargo by 2017. And take a look at the map of the maritime states and the ports of India. Kandla, Mumbai, JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. So there are some great facts and figures from India. India is one of the fastest growing major economies in the world with an expected GDP growth of 7.5. India's long coastline of 7,500 kilometers and a navigable waterways of about 14,500 kilometers offers immense potential for development. And the fourth most attractive FDI destination in the world as per UNCTAD. Over the last decade, seaborne trade has grown twice as the global growth rate of 3.3%. Now, what does it mean in the sense? This 14,426, which you can see here, kilometers, gives us immense possibilities of carrying cargo through inland water transport, as also linking it with the coastal shipping. What about the FDI, the foreign direct investment? Now, there are options of people coming to build ports or even shipbuilding. They can add value, they can add funds to the Indian infrastructure. Now I'll talk about the difference between the private and the public ports. Basically, from the time India adopted liberalization and globalization, the concept of efficiency and using ports as business entities came up. And therefore, the government decided that we should develop the private ports much more than the public ports so that the investment is more through the private sectors. And apart from the investment, the usage or the operations or the efficiency that can be enhanced through the private interventions. Now, major ports are handling around 582 million tons in 2014-15, and about 470 million tons have been handled by the private ports. So, the ratio between these two entities are now getting reversed. If we take a figure of about 1975, we will find about 80% of cargo being handled by the government ports, so the major ports, and around 20% by the private ports. But very soon, say around 2017-18, we'll find the trend has been completely reversed. There are some figures that efficiency parameters of the port sector is improving. The turnaround time, we call it as TRT, is reducing. Pre-berthing detention is also has been reduced by 13%. Maritime container trade has gone down 6.5%, which is higher than the world average of 5.4%. Cargo traffic is doubled to about 1 billion plus. US 2.6 billion is invested in port and shipping sector between 2011 and 14. 150 plus projects identified in Indian maritime sector offering numerous investment opportunities. The investment opportunities could be in terms of warehousing, in terms of ports berths, in terms of buying port crafts, in terms of building port offices, port railways, and also modernization of the equipments. So these 150 plus projects link with all the additions to the infrastructure. We can have a look at the Government of India initiatives, which are broadly or basically the investment initiatives. The FDI up to 100% under automatic route has been approved for development projects. Tax holiday for 10 consecutive assessment years for infrastructure development, including ports and inland waterways. A reduction of service tax incidence on coastal shipping. Financial assistance like exemption of customs duty and central excise duty on inputs used in shipbuilding and ship repairs, and would be providing competitive prices as the policy has removed the cost disadvantages. So you don't have to give, or the shipbuilder, ship owner need not go to the other country to get cheaper ships. In this connection, I must clarify that still today larger ships are built mostly by Korea and China, whereas there are options for building naval vessels or naval crafts, offshore supply vessels used for oil exploration basically, and the third would be for other tugs and very smaller vessels which are used in the port or in the coastal waterways. So the revival of the shipbuilding sector is a part of the Make in India initiative. The question would be, how do you achieve this? So we'll be talking about a subject which is, although, and the third one is ship agency management. A lot of ships are moving across the globe, and no ships can say that I only do business in one country. So whenever the ships are born, so they start sailing for other countries. So therefore, in every country there must be a ship agency which is actually a parent to the ship when it comes, or a husband to the wife that comes to the port. Then comes bunkering management. This is an essential thing that is required. Whenever there is a ship, it needs its fuel, and the fuel has to be given. But there are a lot of technical issues in supplying this fuel. It is not that just pouring oil into a two-wheeler. Ship chartering is how you handle the ships, how you take care of the business of the ships. That means using an asset profitably. The ship is a costly asset. So I'll give you two examples. As a container, you must be hearing about containers. The container ships today cost about say 150 million USD, and a passenger ship may be costing about 300 million USD. Then comes your ship operations, how you handle ships in the port, how you handle the ship in connection with the customs processes. So this is a linkage with the ship operations. Now coming back to the University of UPS. How do you teach this? It's a culture of initiative and innovation, and teach and practice in view of the long connection, long association with the different, a wide range of industries. The UPS is in a position to teach and practice, and this university is equipped with the advanced technology for dissemination of knowledge. And today, there are many of the programs are now being taught on the hybrid learning mode, whereby the students can come to the class and also simultaneously they are given assignments, they are supported through online lectures. So, learn at your own pace is also packaged with the standard learning inputs. It's a progressive approach, learning through practical application and interaction with the industry experts. UPS transforms the learning process through a dynamic approach as university combines conventional learning with sector-specific curriculum and significant industry exposure. And every year we review the curriculum so that it is preferred and accepted wholeheartedly by the industry. Teaching methods. The university has also organized several national and international conferences. To be specific, each year we're having nothing less than at least 10 conferences of different disciplines here. And then there are symposia, workshops, round tables, which are attended by eminent academicians and also industry leaders. These days, we are also getting Skype inputs, online inputs from the foreign universities as well. Learning through practice is encouraged at the UPS through industry visits, field visits, case studies, excursions, and role play exercises. The prominent aspects of teaching methodology followed at UPS are experiential learning, industrial tools, internships, lectures from industry stalwarts. Let us talk about this domain. Sri S. K. Hajra, ex-chairman MD CMD SCI, Captain Bhattacharya, Master Mariner, Captain Battaglia, Master Mariner, Yogesh Jagtap, Great Eastern Shipping, Mr. A.J. Rao, Managing Director of the Indian Ports Association. We have got regular workshops, conferences and training. We have got sector-specific seminars for deeper insight, international academic alliances with reputed institutions across the globe, highly specialized programs and current electives which equip them on subjects which are now preferred by the industries, and where we have found that employers come and seek such expertise. So those subjects have been put as electives. The students have the opportunity to be in campus and learn them while they are learning their main domain subjects. So few initiatives which are linked to the growth of the sector and the growth of the potential employment opportunities are better licensing for ships, e-governance initiative for online processing, web-based port community systems, standardized bidding documents for the PPP. The other government initiatives are coastal shipping, which is eco-friendly, fuel-efficient, cheaper, state-owned ports offering more incentives, easing backdated rules, granting rate discounts, relaxing a local shipping law. Now all these are happening in one way, and now the learning and the needs are to be integrated. So you can see here there are two different domains, that is, one is the shore and the other is a floating staff. So we are focused on the shore staff, that's management staff, service providers and port operators. There is certainly another part of the story, that's crew and floating staff on board ship, captains and navigation officers and marine engineers, which altogether is a different learning. So let's take a look at this. This slide gives you a complete view of the maritime domain. We have got the United Nations at the top, then we have got member states, and this is a regulatory domain, the International Maritime Organization, international bodies and others. So what do they do? The International Maritime Organization says that we are in for safer seas and cleaner oceans. What does it mean? Safer seas is for the people who are traveling by the sea. It could be crew, it could be passengers. The ships itself are quite costly, as I mentioned just now. And third is that that's equally costly, and at times it's costlier than the ship. This is the level 1. Now, under this or below this level, we have the ports and coastal states, the authority to classify ships, register ships, and also check and review whether these are conventions or not. Then you have shipyards, where the ships are built according to the regulations and checked again by the classification society. Then comes the ship brokers, who are in helping the ship owners to get the employment. And then comes ships financiers. When the ship is being built, somebody has to pay the money. It could be banks, it could be financial institutions, it could be a number of individuals who are providing the finance. And whenever the ship is built, we need to have an insurance. So it's called hull and machinery insurance, other than the cargo insurance. So in the ship management, let us go back to the ship management company and find out what are there. So the ship management company is involved with captain, crew, bunker, supplier, which I just mentioned before, then insurers, then ports. Now the ship owner has a direct link to the ports through his or her ships. And the ports will have different grades of people called port stevedores, who work on the vessel, who help the port in handling the cargo, loading and unloading, and there are other services also. Then comes the freight forwarder, the level 3. So they are the logistics service providers who help and assist the importation of cargo in a structured manner, and also the export of cargo. We have got consignees and suppliers, who are the people whom we call shippers also at times, or importers. And we have got the final consumers. They may come directly as an exporter importer, or can get this job through the logistics service providers called freight forwarders, custom house agents, or custom house brokers. So you can see the demand drivers are here. So they are driving the demand, and shipping operations is satisfying the demand through a regulatory atmosphere, a regulatory regime that we say. So now let's look at where our UPS professionals are there today in the commercial sector and on shore. So we have marked it by star marks, red colored star marks. You can have them. We have got in ports, we have got in ship owners office, ship brokers, shipyards, and ship management company, bunker suppliers, and P&I insurers, and then ports, charterers office, cargo owners office, freight forwarders office, traders office, and also other industries. Leave aside the consignee suppliers. There is no doubt a very distinctive array of opportunities. And now, if we look at the third level and from where the demand has generated, and now you map it on India, we'll find about 30 major EXIM container movement clusters from where the manufactured goods are originated, and they are moved through the sea to the foreign countries. So we have mentioned that there are a lot of summer internship programs, research programs, and seminars. So let's have a look at the summer internship programs where our students are going. So Vizag Port Trust, Dhamra Port, SCI, Maersk Line, Maricon Chartering, ICDs in Delhi or near NCR, NYK, Indian Ports Association, the nodal body for the Indian major ports, GAIL, Adani Ports, Joglays, LCL Logistics, DBC Ports, Logistics, Glencore, Chennai Port Trust, Hind Terminals, Essar Ports, Ennore Port, and Dighi Port. So the list is quite long. Some pics that you can see here. So beyond syllabus scholarly activities, these are the research activities. We're encouraging all the students to come up with research work in the numerous seminars which I mentioned before. They are encouraged and the faculties are supporting them. And there is a Jalaswa domain club, which is basically a chartering club. And the students are creating every day chartering newsletters, collecting the industry news as well as the shipping news across the globe. So apart from this regular inputs on the domain subjects and the elective subjects and the subjects of their choice, we need to mentor the students for placement selection improvement. It's called PSI, and personality enhancement program, PEP, course coordination, specific counseling and mentoring of students take place regularly. Student participation in research activities, publication and conferences, that's also quite regular. The age in our program is the UPS Ship Chartering Society. The vision of the society is to provide on-the-job exposure to UPS students within the campus. The age to be readily deployable into commercial shipping industry by infusing professionalism into academics through training and ship chartering tasks to UPS students. This approach in maritime industry is something first of its kind in the country. Now, what do they gain? They gain the thorough knowledge of the shipping industry. There are 4 markets in shipping. They get the knowledge of the different ports, so global geography, and the voyages which the ships make, and also the different rates and the logistic options that they can have. So it's a comprehensive learning. We have also connected with the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, VISTA, which is a networking organization for the women at management level in the maritime industry. This is also quite unique. We support the women for going up in the maritime ladder in the industry. So where can you make your careers? They apparently there are shipping companies figure about 7 crores is the need for the logistics people in rail, airports, sea, and the other transport mode. This is another list. We have different subdomains to work on, starting from ports to shipping companies to container operators to rail operators, third-party logistics operators, and charterers and shipbrokers. And because of this long list and our contacts, we expect 100% placement of current year graduating batch, which today is might be quite challenging for this. So specifically, I'll now subdivide these careers in port and shipping. Supposing let's talk about ports. So we are showing the recruiters in the left side, 141 private ports, and then domain and departments where they can be put. There's operations, terminal management, marketing, revenue management, cargo management, which is basically in warehouse, commercial resource planning. Then comes the profile. The profile would be management trainee initially or assistant manager, growing up to the manager's level. Same thing with the 13 major ports, but obviously major ports would look forward to a person with a certificate, but the opportunities are now open to all students, or anybody in particular can apply to these positions. Shipping companies, we have got. So another one is the shipping services provider, ship broking, ship agency, business consultancies. There are recruiters like Drury, Interocean, Marian Chartering, American Chartering, Mass Global Services. Brisk Marine, James Buxy, Shreyas Logistics, and ICAP Chartering, which have been in touch with us. And the domain and departments they put is the research, analysis, consultancy, and brokerage. The profile is similar. Take a look at the freight forwarding and terminal operation, or which is called logistics service providers, who may be handling the cargo, loading the cargo. One name we have just uttered was the stevedores in the 3-level chart. The recruiters are TMIL Limited, Albatross CFS, APL Logistics, One Eye, Transport Corporation of India, TransAsia Lines, Maersk. The domain and departments are similar: cargo operations, facility management, resource planning, export-import terminal management, process and documentation, vessel cargo handling. So the profiles are shown here with entry level to the managerial level, and we expect more will follow. We look forward to some questions. Thank you. These are done in a bit of structured manner. It is not just adding few men. The whole threat perspective and threat scenario is assessed by people who are expert in this activity, and their recommendations are reassessed, and people take action in terms of adding resources, and also in keeping with certain rules and regulations which have been formally provided by the IMO and the ILO. This is called the International Port and Ship Facility Security Code. I hope that gives you the answer. And so far as Indian government is concerned, they have got clear roadmap for enhancing and sustaining the security in the Indian ports. still get recording, huh?